Crying. Have you done it? Have you not done it? Don't think something is wrong with you if you haven't. It is an individual process, and everybody processes at different times. Your brain has to do a lot of processing when it comes to grief. And just because you are not crying right when it happened, right? Just because you didn't cry when you first heard the news, or because you didn't cry at the funeral, or you don't seem sad enough for some people, you're still grieving. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not grieving properly, or that something's wrong with you because you're not crying. You're still grieving. You are grieving at your own pace. And when your tears come, they will come. And no one can make them come any quicker. And no, nothing is wrong with you. Your tears will just come at your time. We don't all grieve the same. You know, even if you're not a crier, I honestly believe that at some stage of your grieving, tears will come, even if you're not a crier. But there's no set time, no set expectation. But don't believe that something is wrong with you because you haven't cried like other people think you should. And don't worry. Whether you cry now or whether you cry later, the tears will come. I just don't want you to allow people to guilt you into crying, or guilt you into making you think you should feel sadder than you do. There is a lot going on inside a person when they're grieving. There's a lot to process. And sometimes your brain is so focused on those other things, you don't have time to cry at the moment. There are much more pressing issues. You know, you may have family members who are depending on you. There may be estate issues, financial issues, healthcare issues, a lot of things that can take your attention that just put crying a little farther down the list of importance or duties at the moment. You may never cry in front of anyone, but when it happens, it'll happen. Gender stereotypes do not apply in grief. You know, the stereotype that men don't cry. Yeah, right. Yes, they do, and they should. As we've talked about before, crying is an elixir for your soul. It's very cleansing. It is therapeutic. It is a physical release of the stressors and everything that is happening inside your mind, inside your heart, and inside your body. Grief takes a toll on you externally and internally. And crying is just a release of all of that. So whatever stereotype you believe, big girls don't cry, however that song went, yeah, everybody cries. And it's okay. Whenever you cry, wherever you cry, however you cry. Pretty, ugly, if it's a small little set of tears, if you go on a crying binge, whatever. Now, if it gets too far and you really just can't seem to control yourself, then you should seek medical attention, or possibly a licensed counselor at that point. But let them happen. Let the emotion flow. You need that release. Because one thing is for sure, if it stays inside, it's going to manifest somehow. It has to come out. So it may come out in acne. It may come out in bald spots. It can come out in very many different ways. It can literally bend you out of shape if you really hold on to stress too long. So tears might be a better alternative to just let them out. Even if there's a little bit of snot that goes with it, that's okay too. I really am enjoying our time together and hoping that this has been helpful to some of you. I would love to hear your comments and your feedback on topics that you want to discuss when it comes to grief and loss. Here for the long haul. A lot of exciting things coming up. Take care. Stay safe. And I'll see you next week.